Tough injury news coming down today for the Mets out of Port St. Lucie involving a starting pitcher and New York Post baseball columnist Jon Heyman. He's been all over it and joins us now from beautiful Port St. Lucie, Florida, enjoying that good weather. John, what's going on?
Oh, sorry about the weather. It's really nice here, I have to tell you. But I feel bad for you folks in New York. But
Yeah.
weather's great, but a little rough news for the Mets right now, as you mentioned.
Yeah, rough news for the Mets, and you're right about the weather in New York. Not so great with snow coming on the way, which you will know nothing about this week. But John, Mets right-hander Frankie Montas, he will be shut down for 6 to 8 weeks following a high-grade lat strain. Montas did sign a 2-year, $34 million contract with an opt-out back in the offseason. So when should Mets fans likely see him on the mound pitching real games, and what are the next steps in terms of Montas's recovery?
Well, as you mentioned, a 6 to 8 week shutdown. That'll be followed by another period, which will be his spring training, which, as we know, takes about another 6 weeks. So 12 weeks minimum. We're talking at least 3 months here, and that's being optimistic. So he's going to be out a while. I mean, if he appears in June, I think they'll probably be happy with that at this point.
Yeah, and it seems like a long time away for Mets fans who are going to be really disappointed about this news. But today was the first day of full squad workouts for the Metropolitans. So I got to ask this, John, how big of a blow is this injury for the team? And who should now be expected to step up in place of Montas?
Well, they do have significant depth. They do have a lot of pitchers here. In fact, a lot of starting pitchers. Certainly, McGill is a guy who could step in. He has done that the last couple of years. Very viable starter, has good stuff, throws hard. So he's probably first on the board. But we certainly have Griffin Canning, who was signed in the offseason, another guy who could step in as well, and Paul Blackburn, who was part of the rotation toward the end of the last year before he was felled by a back injury. Those are the first three that come to mind, but they have a long list of starters here. That said, as usual, I'm in favor of spending more of Steve Cohen's money and going out and get some other starting pitchers.
Yeah, it's easy to always spend somebody else's money, but that goes to where I was going to go next with you, right? Because, John, you know this, prior to the start of spring training, there was talk about the Mets looking to bolster their rotation. If possible, does this Montas injury add an urgency to the team maybe looking to upgrade their starting rotation?
You know, I think so. We'll see how they approach it. I mean, the guy I've been suggesting all along, it's going to be tough to get Dylan Cease. I mean, he's a guy came within one strikeout of the NL strikeout lead last year. He's led his league in games started 3 out of the last 4 seasons. Very durable, dynamic, excellent thrower who throws, 98, 99 miles an hour. That would require giving back the top prospects, which would probably include Sproat and or Acuna and others. So, frankly, San Diego does not want to trade him. The reason that his name has come up is because they have a messy ownership situation, which may ultimately necessitate that they move some pieces, whether that includes Cease or not. I mean, that would just be a guess at this point. The most obvious solution, I think, to all of us who are here is to go sign Jose Quintana back. He was outstanding for them last year at a 3.11 ERA in the second half. He's a guy who does not throw hard, and frankly, free agency has not treated him very well. He is just sitting at home. I'm sure he's working out, but he's basically at home waiting for the phone to ring, and the Mets like him very much. He liked it here with the Mets, and to me, that's the logical solution. And at this point, it would be a cost-effective one because he probably wouldn't cost much more than $5 million. Easy for me to say, but $5 million is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, particularly with the Mets payroll already at $322 million.
Yeah, sounds cost effective. John, I think they should let you spend a little bit more of Steve Cohen's money. I think that's what should happen here. One last thing for me here, John. Should Mets fans be concerned about this injury? Is this one they should worry about, especially with it seemingly like Montas could be out for a while? Should they be concerned about the fact that this injury happened this early in spring training?
Well, I would certainly be concerned about Montas. He's had some injury issues in the past. We know that with the Yankees, he had a shoulder situation that kept him out most of the time that he was a Yankee. This is not necessarily a durable guy. He's certainly a talented guy who throws very, very hard, and they thought they got him on a decent deal, but certainly I would be concerned at this point, and that's why I'm effectively offering. I'm not offering to pay for any of it, but I'm offering my suggestion that they go out and get Jose Quintana to tide them over. I think he's a more durable pitcher and really, frankly, a more accomplished pitcher, and he would come at a reasonable rate at this point.
Yeah, tough news for the Mets. We'll see what they do if they can bolster that starting rotation with the news coming down that Frankie Montas will be shut down for 6 to 8 weeks. Will be out longer than that. That is Jon Heyman, New York Post baseball columnist, joining us. John, I appreciate the time. Go enjoy that good weather while I bundle up here in New York. Appreciate you.
All right, I'm going to drive to Tampa, so I don't know if I'll be enjoying it. I'll be in the car, but it's better than being in the snow.
That is
Sorry.
true. I will agree with you on that. Thanks, John. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.